I'm Hailey.
I'm Sean.
And welcome to Hailey Hates Everything.
I pick a surprise topic.
And I get high and opinionated so we can discuss it together.
So grab a snack and hang out with us for
Hailey Hates Everything. Do you hear that? Oh my gosh, you know what that means. It's the holidays. Welcome back to the podcast. I am your friend, your pal, Hailey, and we have a fun holiday themed show here today because it will officially be December when you listen to this. It's Sean's birthday month, so happy birthday early. His birthday's on Christmas Day, so that's a thing. Anyway, I guess I should introduce him so he can officially speak. It's Sean. Hi, Sean.
Och, dunna fash, me lass. Och.
That's right.
Och.
From that, you should be able to recognize that we watched A Castle for Christmas on Netflix. It is a cheesy holiday movie, and I hate cheesy holiday movies. It is set in Scotland, as Sean has continued to tell you. And that was very dear to me. Sean and I went to Scotland in 2019. It was wonderful. Also, I'm a big fan of Outlander, Scotland-based. I have become obsessed with Scotland and learning about Scotland. And so I was excited to see the landscape and just, castles, Christmas, cool. So that's what we watched, and that's what we're going to talk about. So if you haven't yet watched A Castle for Christmas on Netflix, starring Brooke Shields and Cary Elwes, go watch it. Go watch it. You know what? I think you should watch it.
Oh, already you're weighing in on...
No, I have not weighed in yet. Trust and believe. I have pages of weigh in, and I haven't done that yet. Haven't even got to the notes yet. I would say go watch it. I mean, overall, it was an enjoyable watch, even though I have plenty to say about it.
So go watch it and then come back.
Yes, that's what I have said.
It's an hour and 39 minutes.
Now you want to chime in.
It's not too bad to get through.
It's
a little bit longer than, I don't know.
Than it should be. But, if you like that kind of thing, if it makes you happy, because there's a lot of people who love this kind of thing, go watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. And then come back and listen to this, because I don't want to spoil it for you is the thing. If you don't give a shit about these movies and you just want to hear what we have to say about it and pretend like you watched it, cool. Listen on, because we're going to tell you everything that we observed about this film.
As we said, it's a Castle for Christmas on Netflix. They're pretty short on the synopsis here. To escape a scandal, a best-selling author journeys to Scotland, where she falls in love with a castle and faces off with the grumpy duke who owns it.
Okay.
Och.
Yes.
That's apparently what you do to make sure that people know you're Scottish, is about, every scene you go, oh.
Well, it is a very Scottish sound. And I would also say, based on reading Outlander, it is something where Jamie is described as saying these little Scottish grumbles and stuff. So it's apparently a big thing. I didn't hear anybody do that a lot when we were in Scotland.
Yeah.
So I don't know, how much it comes up in daily Scottish life, but I assume it would be,
Well, we watched an episode of Shetland with dinner, and I didn't hear a single "och."
That's true. That's true. Well, I don't know. It's very, very Scottish. Oh my God, Sean, I'm really high. Well, it's directed by someone named Mary Lambert, and there's a singer named Mary Lambert, so I was looking up to see if they were related or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they are. This isn't the same Mary Lambert. This Mary Lambert is a director, and she has previously directed Pet Sematary 1 and 2. A whole bunch of other stuff I haven't seen before. Nothing stood out. Oh, an episode of Red Shoe Diaries, apparently.
Oh,
That I know.
nice.
I never. Oh, and Tales from the Crypt. Okay, I guess I didn't get into the television part of it. But she also has directed some music videos, like the B-52s and some Motley Crue and Madonna and Bobby Brown. Like
Oh, dang.
five Madonna videos. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty cool that she was doing music videos and stuff. And
Yeah, so she knows how to make something sexy.
I wish that
Ooh,
this
yeah.
Castle for Christmas had more Red Shoe Diaries in it. Quite
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, you could really beef it up. Just saying. I guess we should get into this.
Indeed. So the movie starts as we're flying into New York City, and books are flying from side to side of various books with Emily Stone. Was that?
Gale was the
Oh,
character.
Emma Gale. That's the character of the book.
So Brooke Shields plays a very popular, like, chick lit sort of romance novelist. You know those, like, the fiction books in, like, Target where they have really brightly colored covers, and it's always like a cartoon silhouette of a lady, or like the back of someone with a dog looking out at the ocean, or you know what I'm saying? Or there's like just symbols, designs, like a shoe and a cake and
Yeah, yeah.
things like that. I think this is the type of author she is. I enjoy those books. I read one on vacation. Anyway, I think she's in that genre of like chick lit, fiction, fun, romancy kind of thing.
I thought kind of maybe it was like those, or those private detective ones that you read.
Oh yeah, Janet Ivanovich.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I really
That's kind of
enjoy
what I
those.
kind of thought of.
Yeah, that's kind of a similar thing. But, you know, just kind of light fiction, a little bit of romance, maybe some little detective work. I enjoy a good female detective novel. Yeah, that kind of genre.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think people get the picture. And so, yes, she's got this line of books. It's this whole character, you know, there's like
20-year career.
yeah, and it's all about this one character and all her different shenanigans. So we find out that she's going on the Drew Barrymore show, which I didn't know was such a huge thing that this would be in a movie. And I love Drew Barrymore. I think she's very sweet. But I didn't know her show was that big or to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, they made it seem like, I don't know, like she was the new Ellen or something, the way that they presented this. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think that her show is as big as Ellen's.
Yeah, I have no
To my
idea.
knowledge. Is Ellen still on? I don't
know.
watch TV in the...
I wasn't sure if she got canceled or not.
Okay, well, anyway, she's on the Drew Barrymore show. People are raging outside. They are protesting her, this author lady, Brooke Shields. Her character's name is Sophie Brown. I'm going to try to call her Sophie, but I might say Brooke. So, anyway, she's on to not only talk about her new book, I guess, but this protest that's happening against her. Like, she's the worst person in the world. And so she's sitting down being interviewed by Drew Barrymore, and they bring up this issue, and the people outside, you know, rallying against her. And the problem is that the author, Brooke Shields, killed off a character, like a major hunky male character
Yeah.
from the latest book that she has released, and everybody is fucking pissed.
It seemed like this guy's been around since the first book.
That's what y'all are raging against? Are you serious? It makes no sense to me.
And Drew Barrymore even calls her out.
No,
like,
yeah. Drew Barrymore like, I'm with them. Why did you do that? You could have done anything else. I can't do a good Drew Barrymore impression. But
You're mixing your personal life because she's just going through a divorce.
yeah, disses her. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be like best friends or something. And disses her and says, how dare you kill off the character? Drew Barrymore gets mad at her. Now, the way that Brooke Shields reacts to this, there's a couple of parts where she is just like really overacting.
Yeah.
Very just over the wall. And it was very confusing. That was the biggest thing, is like, oh my God, why is she reacting this way? Because Drew Barrymore's like, you shouldn't have done that. Like, you could have done anything else. I liked that character. And Brooke Shields is like, what did you say? How could you say this to me? That's the look on her face.
Yeah.
As if Drew Barrymore and everyone was saying, "You murdered someone," and pointing a finger at her and stuff. That's what Brooke Shields was acting like. And I was like, oh God, did she kill a human? I really, really thought something else was going on. Something way bigger because of Brooke Shields' facial expressions. And so I was very disappointed when this is it. People are mad that she wrote off a character in her book.
Well,
That's the problem.
I mean, you might be mad if Harry Potter died.
Sean, you don't know shit about Harry Potter. You're going to step to me with some Harry Potter stuff and not know shit about Harry Potter. And I'm like, I'm not the biggest Potterhead or anything, but I read all the books and you've only seen the movies and you just don't know. You never had to like cry along with Harry. Come on. That book, there's some PTSD in there for me because Harry gets locked under the stairs and I just don't, it doesn't sit well with me. So that was an issue. But I'm basically Harry Potter. I have a scar on my forehead. Although my parents didn't love me and his did, so.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh my God.
I got jokes. So anyway, enough with the Harry Potter because you don't know anything about it. Okay, so Brooke Shields is flabbergasted about this accusation of her killing off her character, and it was just so weird, their interactions together, and then so Brooke gets angry.
Yeah.
Angry. And she's like, ha ha ha, I could have killed him any way I wanted. He didn't have to fall down the stairs. I could have poisoned him. I could have stabbed his heart out. I could have shredded up his guts and fed it to the fairies. Like, she just came up with all this stuff and was just in the camera. Like, she walked to camera, she was screaming, and it was disturbing. And I really did not understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And this is like, 2 minutes in or something. It's at the very beginning.
Well, then, like, even before this, her agent told her, try not to be so tall.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? In this day and age.
Yeah.
And also, they made a big deal out of showing Brooke Shields in flats the whole time. They were like, guess what? This bitch ain't wearing heels. She's really that tall in person. Flats. Flattest can be. No support in those shoes she was wearing. They were the flattest fucking flats I've ever seen. And I bet you, I mean, she's older than me. I don't know how old she is. We can look it up, I guess, but
she's 56.
56? I know she's going to need supportive shoes.
And she's 6 foot.
Yes, she needs way more supportive shoes than what she was wearing in this film, and I hope there was someone there to massage her feet every day.
Yeah.
Because the flats they put her in for cobblestones, for snow.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
come on, you guys. It really bothered me. I have a lot to say about her clothing. And we will get to it. Brooke goes all nuts on TV, on Drew Barrymore, of all things. And she's just like embarrassed and she's devastated. Her grown-ass daughter, we now go to her apartment. Her grown-ass daughter is over to hang out with her, girls' night, Chinese food, wine. I thought it was her homie. It was her grown-ass daughter. So she's like, Mom, are you going to be okay? And Brooke is like, yeah, I'll be fine. And there really wasn't a lot of, I don't know. I just didn't feel it in Brooke. I didn't feel that she was that embarrassed. She was just kind of embarrassed. Anyway, she sends her daughter back to school. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. You go. And so this is how we meet Brooke Shields, Sophie Brown, an author.
Yep. And her daughter's mainly there for exposition to put the part about why she's going to Scotland, which is because her dad's from Scotland. He came over when he was a kid, but
Yes,
he went to this Dunbar. His family worked at this Dunbar castle and stuff, and also to set up that he owned a barber shop.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Is that where the barber shop came in?
Yeah, later on when she starts helping people with their hair.
Oh, well, I wrote down like, who the fuck is she to know hair? Because they said she just lived above a barber shop or something. That's all I heard.
Yeah, her dad was a barber.
Okay, I wish they had like told us at some point. Because that I would have been like, oh, okay. Instead of just being like, where is she getting the tools? How is she getting the bleach and the hair color and all of this stuff in this tiny town in Scotland? Is there a Sally's there? No. So I just didn't understand how she's getting all the tools that she would need to do their hair in this manner.
We'll get to this part later, but there's this one girl. She lived above a barber shop and stuff, and her dad was a barber, and she knows how to cut hair, and she's an excellent colorist. But when they do the reveal, I don't even feel like the girl got her hair cut. All they did was add in some green extensions.
They did cut it a little bit. Like in a later scene, it looked like it was a little shorter
Oh yeah.
and healthier, quite honestly. But yeah, they basically just put some green, chunky highlight extensions in her hair. And it was cute. It was fine. But I don't think a wonderful colorist would tell you that that was a good color job. It was
Yeah.
just a basic color job. So if someone does that to you and charges you big bucks, nah, go back. Tell them they're fucking with the wrong person. Get your money back. Because no, honey, no.
That was just a weird offshoot that's through kind of in the movie about her being able to do hair.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
It's just this completely random thing to charm her way into this group of Scottish folks. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we are. So she finds a cozy inn near Dunbar Castle, that
Which
she
is
can-
not a real castle, by the way. I looked it up. Dun actually means fortress in Scots Gaelic. It was actually filmed at a place called Dalmany House in the northwest of Edinburgh, and at a place called Tantallon Castle, which I really think is just that one that they show you from far away. That's just kind of castle ruins on the cliff. You know, it's really
Oh,
pretty, and
yeah,
I was like, I
yeah.
want to go to there.
Yeah.
That seemed to be the only time they filmed at that location, but that's in the filming locations. Anyway, that's in the like northeast of Edinburgh, like to the northeast,
Yeah.
right on the coast. So we didn't go that way
No,
when
we
we were
didn't
there.
get to.
Yeah, that was a little too far for that trip anyway. So,
Oh, I had one real quick thing. Her daughter was played by Vanessa Grassi, and her other movies include Robo Shark and Leatherface. And the poster for Robo Shark sounds exactly,
how you think it's gonna look?
yeah.
Okay. Did they have a shark head and legs?
Let me bring it up again. I felt like it was half shark, half robot.
Well, Sean, that's actually what I just asked you. The torso would be the shark, the legs would be the robot. I think that's pretty obvious.
I'm bringing up images. I think maybe the whole shark is a robot.
In what way?
It's not like Sharktopus, where it's part octopus, part shark. This is a straight robo shark. The shark is totally robo.
Is it metal? Do they cover it with shark skin?
I think it just
How
has...
does it walk?
No, I don't think it walks. I
It
think it
swims?
just has yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Well, how does the metal not get all crusted up?
Well, there's metals that don't get crusty in salt water so much.
Okay. Oh, sorry, metalsmith. No, I didn't know you knew everything about metal.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Sorry, I didn't get the synopsis for Robo Shark. A great white bites a UFO aircraft in the Pacific and turns into a Robo Shark hybrid.
Oh, duh. That's what I thought would happen. That was going to be my first guess. Oh, my Lord. That sounds insane. All right. Well, back to this thing.
Yep, sorry. Tangent alert. Tangent alert.
Yes. Okay, so she's going to go to this Dunbar Castle, but she's, as you said, she stays at a hotel, like it's a bed and breakfast kind of stone.
It's called the Castle Inn.
Okay.
There might have been some other small words there, but the main part was that it was the Castle Inn,
Okay.
which I'm sure is completely unique to all of Scotland.
Right. She goes to Scotland. She wants to be, I guess, close to her grandpa or whatever. Was it her dad or her grandpa?
Her dad.
She's not that old.
I mean,
She made it
she's
seem like it was
56.
ancient. Well, I thought it was a grandpa. That made more sense to me.
Her plan was to go there with her father, but he got too sick and they were never able to visit.
Oh, okay. So it was already a plan.
Yeah.
And then he died? She made a big deal about the divorce, but not her father's death.
Yeah, true.
So she's like, I'm getting out of the U.S. Everyone hates me. I'm
Yeah.
sick of this shit.
Yep.
I'm going to go where nobody knows my name. So I'm not going to Cheers. I'm going to go to Scotland.
Yep.
Did you get the Cheers joke?
Oh, where everybody knows your name.
Jeez. Okay. I thought it was decent. So she goes to Scotland. Nobody's going to know me. I'll stay under the radar. I'll get some writing done. Yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
She gets to Scotland, and the taxi dude is there with her name to pick her up. And they give him subtitles because he has a thick Scottish accent. This is the only time they do that.
Yeah, and I was pretty sure he was the same cab driver later in the movie,
Yeah.
and his accent wasn't that thick.
Yeah, they didn't subtitle him then.
Yeah.
So right away, and half the things he said, you can tell what he's saying if you're just listening to him. So I didn't understand that part. However, when you first go to Scotland, if you've never been and you're not used to the accent, when you first go, good luck figuring it out. I will say that. There's words you can pick out. But this guy's accent wasn't that heavy. I feel like she could have understood some of the things he was saying. However, here's what happened. Sean and I had made this big trip because I love Westlife and I wanted to see them since they got back together. If you don't know about them, they're an Irish boy band. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. Look them up. Their new album, Wild Dreams, just came out. It's wonderful. It's lovely. Oh my God. Okay. So I love Westlife. I wanted to see Westlife because they got back together. So we were going to go to Liverpool, which we did, to see them. We went to Iceland for a couple of days. And then we went to Scotland. And we drove around Scotland for a week and a half-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was amazing. I'm glad we went when we did because, 2020. So people in Iceland, you can pretty much tell what they're saying. Like,
Yeah.
they're speaking English, but they do have an accent. And sometimes it can be a little tricky if you're not listening.
Yeah.
Because it is a different accent, And I've only been to Canada a few times. I've never been to the UK or like any other country. I've just been in the US and Canada at that point. So it was really weird to like see different languages and hear these different accents. And it does take a little bit for you to sort of acclimate to it. So after Iceland, we go to Liverpool. That's good. Everybody fucking sounds like the Beatles, and it's so cool. It was the coolest thing. We took the train from Manchester to Liverpool, and then we had to get a taxi at the train station. And this guy, I loved the first taxi driver. He looked kind of like Paul McCartney, older Paul McCartney. He sounded like the fucking Beatles. And we get in and he's talking, he's, saying this thing, that thing. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's so cool. It's so cool. He sounds like the Beatles. It was just so crazy. Because then that's like a moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm in another country. I'm like somewhere completely different than I ever thought I'd be able to go, It was nuts, but it was so cool. So you can tell what they're saying, obviously. So we get on the train from Liverpool and we're going to Glasgow. And there were Scottish people on the train, like the attendants or whatever. I think that's what they're called. They come by. They come by with the food cart. And they had some things that looked quite delicious on the food cart. But I didn't know what they were. And I didn't know what was in them, and I was scared to ask because the guy comes over and he's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, yes. And he's like, oh, you don't want blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that one. The point. And I just went with it. And you were saying yes and stuff. So when you said yes, I would say yes. And I did not know what the fuck he said. And it was just because he had a Scottish accent.
Yeah,
And
it was a pretty strong one.
It was very strong.
I'm not sure we ran into anybody else
quite that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was jolting because I did not know how to communicate with them. So I wanted to tell that story because I kind of relate, but also the guy on TV could understand most of what he was saying.
Yeah, I was trying to look up what was that one Scottish show that was from that took place near the Isle of Skye.
Hamish Macbeth?
Oh, that's it, Hamish Macbeth. It's just included with Prime if you got Amazon Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
It's included on there. It looks like a number of the seasons are included.
Okay, cool. Well, we only made it through, I don't know, 15 minutes of one. Because I feel like everybody had a super thick Scottish accent and you can't tell what they're saying. It was a lot to follow and I just didn't have the brain capacity at that point to try.
Yeah, it stars Robert Carlyle. He was in like some of those movies like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, maybe Snatch. I don't know, something like that. He was a Bond villain at one point, but yeah, they got real thick accents, and that's kind of, if you want to get an idea, start watching that, and you'd be like, okay,
that's the
wait,
real deal.
What?
Well, this taxi guy, he takes her out into the country, driving around. I really miss those little single roads and the grass and the stone walls and stuff, just like the rolling hills of everything.
Sheep everywhere.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty, and it made me miss it. And they go through these little cobblestone, little Scottish towns. They look exactly like that. I mean, we went to Falkland, and it plays Inverness in Outlander, and it looks just like that, just like going back in time.
It's pretty great. It can be a stressful drive. Just breathe. At least every single like Scottish person we met seemed really nice. So.
Yeah, and that comes up in some of my notes too, because when Brooke Shields meets Cary Elwes' character, he's supposed to be a really grumpy curmudgeon, and I didn't get that at first. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself.
No, we're that's where we're at right now.
That is where we're at?
7 minutes in is the meet cute.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
we're at 7 minutes in right now, Hailey.
Is that when you made fun of me for having notes?
I think so.
He took a picture of me typing away, typing my notes. And I did have a substantial amount by then. Yeah, this is like more than half a page. Typed, single space. And made fun of me. Took a picture. I was like, I'm just taking a picture of all your notes at 7 minutes in. So she's going to this sort of bed and breakfast Castle Inn. And she gets out. And I thought the suitcase was a lot smaller then than it looked when she left.
Oh, yeah.
Which comes up when I talk about her clothing. Mm-hmm. But she gets out. This is just, you guys, it's so cheesy. If cheese stops you up, just be gentle with yourself at this point. So she gets out of the car. There is a big dog running at her, named Hamish. We come to love him. I mean... Oh, yeah. Just seeing his cute puppy face, how could you not?
Hamish is the star of this.
He truly is. And he really proves it at the end.
Yeah.
So, more on Hamish later. So this dog is running at her. Cary Elwes jumps out and is like, Hamish, no! Brooke Shields, instead of turning to Cary Elwes, turns to the dog. And the dog basically pops on her chest like as dogs do, giant dogs. Pushes her, and she falls into Cary Elwes, and he catches her, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That whole thing.
Boom, meet cute.
Yeah, and it's like, really? Just not subtle at all. Not subtle at all. Oh, man. They just kind of stare at each other a moment. Kind of like Disney characters do when they meet.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. That kind of thing. And I mean, my God, it was too, I need more subtle in first meeting, quite honestly. But it was kind of Disney-esque in that way. Mm-hmm. This is very G-rated. In fact, it's literally G-rated.
Yeah, it's rated TVG.
Yeah. So, no, nothing, quite honestly.
And I think, yeah, they said it was TVG for language, which I think she said ass once.
Oh, gosh, really?
She called him
an asshole.
Or an ass. I forget what the
I thought she called him an asshole, or maybe I said that in my head.
Yeah, a royal ass.
Oh, okay. Wow, language. It was just so awkward and eye-rolly, their meet cute.
Yeah.
Just like, really? Come on, y'all. And also, it's not that these people are like early 20s gawky teenagers. These are like grown ass people. These
Yeah.
are like pushing 60 people.
Absolutely.
So Brooke
Cary
Shields,
Elwes is 59.
okay, he's 59, she's 56.
Yep.
So these are like grown ass people acting this way, which is really quite disturbing to see. Honestly. And that comes up a lot in this movie. There's all of these little moments that are so cringy and awkward because of the characters, because of who they are. They're more mature people. Like, why are they acting this way? And I kind of felt like it was something that like 15-year-old me would have written about how I wanted to meet Joe McIntyre or something. This is my fan fiction from when I was 15. There wasn't a lot of like meat to people's issues with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
It seemed like a really romanticized way of what a a teenager would think falling in love was like. Does that make sense? And I guess that it's supposed to be that way because it's like a romantic Christmas movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But this was just, to me, it assumes the level of maturity of the people that are watching is like really low. And I want something meatier.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a grown ass woman. I want something meatier. So anyway, it's just the whole thing for me, their whole vibe. And she checks into this hotel, and her room is very large by UK standards. Like, she's got the big bucks, I think is what we're supposed to know, because the room is so large. I was very jealous of the space.
Yeah, that would be a spendy room. I mean, compared to the size of places that we stayed in.
Yeah. We could barely move around the bed. Then there was a little bathroom. There was nowhere to put your suitcases. It was just all like the standard furniture in the small room. It was cramped.
And don't get me started on the showers.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Don't get started on that.
Oh, God. No, thank you. I guess she's fine. No jet lag, nothing. She's ready and rolling. Literally, because she gets a bike and she bicycles all the way to this castle.
Oh, yep.
Dunbar Castle. And I'm assuming that it wasn't like super far, but she was wearing a lot of activewear. Like, at first I thought that's all she brought to Scotland was activewear, because that's all she was in. I thought maybe we're supposed to think she's really sporty, and this is like a bicycle ride for her, you know? Not just a meandering bicycle ride. Does that make sense? So anyway, she goes to this castle. There's a tour coming out. They're doing not well financially, you can kind of tell. Cary Elwes is there too, working on the yard. He was at this other place working outside.
Yeah.
Like a maintenance man.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why he was working at the inn.
Yeah, because they acted like they never seen him. They acted like he's never there.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he's at this place, at this castle, working on the weeds. And she's like, oh, you again. I want to take a tour. No tours today, ma'am. And so the way that they interacted in the meet cute was like very like instant attraction. Like, who are you? Oh my goodness. And then when he sees her at this castle, he seems very suspicious of her and kind of angry in a way. But he keeps staring at her like it morphs from him staring at her. He has to know everything about her. I'm talking like West Side Story type shit. Yeah. And then it morphs into this like, I hate her, I don't want to see her. In a very short amount of time. He ends up seeming very like anti-American or anti-tourist. I wasn't sure what he hated the most, but I knew that he hated her. But I didn't know what that represented to him. And he just seemed really angry for no reason. This is Cary Elwes' character, by the way. His name is Miles in this, and I'll try to remember to call him that. Otherwise, I'm going to call him Cary Elwes the whole time. We thought that Cary Elwes is like the yard man. He offers to give a tour of this castle to Brooke Shields. Yeah. He takes her all around. He gets called to talk to some people about a wedding, leaves her there. She runs upstairs. She sneaks in because it's part of her dad's story or grandpa's story, whatever the fuck. And she remembers the directions and she runs through the castle, no security anywhere, and gets to this door and finds this carving that her dad or grandpa
Her dad
had scratched into the door with his name. Like he was just going to say McGinty.
Yeah.
Which was her last name.
He only got Magoo.
A few letters in, yeah. And she wanted to see the letters that her dad carved into the door when he was a child and then got reprimanded for because he didn't live there. She finds them, and then Cary Elwes finds her. And is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. You know, just coming to somebody's house like this and then like shames her for like doing a DNA test and being related to Mary Queen of Scots.
Yeah. He's really like biting with his jokes. He has a lot of disdain for her. Again, I wasn't sure if it was because she was American or it's because she was just like there. Because I was gonna say none of the Scottish people were rude to us. They were all very nice. And I feel like the second cab driver in Liverpool was kind of rude, but that was just his vibe. But everybody was really nice.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't understand what his deal was.
As we'll come to find out shortly hereafter, is that he's in financial issues of owning the castle and the farmlands and things like that. So it seems like he's coming from a point of, I don't know, male insecurity for being in financial distress.
I guess. Yeah, because he is like skeet shooting like a rich man later on.
Yeah, I don't know why
who is he?
Why he's doing that when like he's worried about foreclosing on the castle.
Yeah, because they're doing tours. None of the business side of it is going well. He's going to lose everything. I should mention he's the 12th Duke of Dunbar.
Yeah.
Right, he's a duke.
She gets in with the Knitters Club at the Castle Inn.
Right.
Gets in with the
just
Knitters
like
Club.
They're at a pub. They're just a knitting circle at a pub. And there is a wonderful black lady. There's a very tiny little baker lady. She's very young. There's an old lady.
Yep.
And then there's a
gay widower.
Yeah, a very tall gay guy. And he doesn't speak since his partner died. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's extremely sad.
All they do is introduce him to her, and he gets up and walks away.
I didn't know if he was deaf or if he didn't like her or what was happening because he didn't say anything. And later on we're told this is why.
Yeah.
But he was laughing with someone at the bar. So I thought, why is he laughing if he doesn't even speak?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense.
That whole character's kind of setup seemed kind of bizarre to me because there was no... Like later in the movie, they do a little choir and he sings in it, and there's no like, oh.
Yeah, I think they just kind of chuckled louder. It was just like, oh yeah.
I know. I thought there was going to be some sort of,
and nobody was like hugging him or congratulating him.
Yeah.
And also, how did he sound like that if he hasn't spoken in so long? You got to work those muscles.
True.
So that's her knitters group that she gets in with, Brooke Shields.
Yeah. So they're the ones who tell her, hey, the castle's for sale. It's going for cheap. Apparently all of the Knitters Club had read all of her books already, so...
They recognized her. They already wanted to love her.
Yeah, they were down with her killing off the dude.
Yeah, they were not the American sentiment at all.
Yeah.
They were like, good for you. Ugh, I don't like that character. He's too perfect. Which I just thought was kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Considering what this genre is in the first place.
Yeah.
You know?
So then, Cary Elwes shooting some skeet. Meeting with his...
I don't like the thought of that. I think he's a very attractive man. Still. I mean, he's definitely older, as we all are. And... he's still got a great head of hair on him. I mean, his hair was fantastic.
Yeah, at one point I put in, like, man, they did a good job on his layers. Cause,
right?
Man, it combed back. It was just so like,
good.
It just like cascaded down. It was, yeah, they did a great job.
Yes, that feathering is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It looked so good.
I could only get those sorts of layers.
I know, I wanted to run my fingers through it. I think your hair is just more coarse.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
his is a finer strand.
Yeah, I get
Yours
that.
is more texture,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why yours will never lay like that. But we've never really blown out your hair and seen how it goes because the way that it's cut. Thank you, Tiffany. It lays very well and it looks good, but you just don't have the same texture.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's not, the sort of fine hair that, someone who's maybe more a natural blonde or even towards like redhead
Yeah,
type
yeah, a Draco Malfoy.
thinness of hair.
Yes.
Yeah, fineness.
See, did you know that's a Harry Potter character, Sean?
Indeed, Draco Malfoy.
You didn't catch it. You thought I was just throwing things out there. See? You don't know shit about Harry Potter. Yeah, so amazing hair. Good job, buddy. And Brooke Shields looks gorgeous. Brooke Shields is still super gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at one point she
great
has,
skin.
she, in her final dress, it's like what is it? What would you call that final dress? Like where
It's a ball gown.
yeah, ball gown.
A strapless ball gown.
And she's got some guns.
Yeah, she had Michelle Obama arms.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
was toned.
yeah.
I was jealous of that tone.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta work on my arms. They both still look very attractive, don't get me wrong. But they are older people, and it's just odd seeing them in these certain, like, relationship sort of dating, falling in love things. I don't
Yeah,
know. It
yeah.
was just kind of weird. But
Plus, you kind of feel like they're both relatively successful or have a higher class, perhaps, and especially in Cary Elwes.
yeah, he's a
You kind of imagine they're just going to have more like confidence and gravitas. I mean, she's a world-renowned author, and everyone's read her books, and he's a duke.
I feel like they would carry themselves a
Yeah.
bit differently and interact with each other very differently. And so that was kind of off-putting, especially with the moments where she really overacted. Like, spoiler alert, they're getting ready to have sex, and she's like pleading with him. She's like, no, this is wrong, but we should still, she's leading him into the thing saying, oh, it's so wrong, it's so wrong. And she had this look on her face like she was about to cry. And it was so weird. I was like, does she want to or not? It just made me really uncomfortable, these moments where her facial expressions were way more extreme than what the moment called for. And I got really confused about who she was and what she thought was happening around her. And it was very off-putting and confusing to me.
Cary Elwes, he's shooting some skeet,
Oh
talking to his banker.
Why would you say that again when I had such an issue with it the first?
He's just shooting some skeet.
Sean, enough with the skeet, thank you.
And the guy's like, we got an offer on the castle. You really need to take this. Or you need to sell the farmland. He's like, no, I'm not selling the farmland.
Very grumpy.
Yeah.
Just
So he's like,
anti.
well, we got an offer on the castle. You should really go with this. And then all of a sudden, boom, Brooke Shields is there. And
Yeah, she's just marching across the pasture
yeah, yeah.
in her like riding gear. I still haven't got to the part about her outfits. We're almost there.
Yeah, so then of course they have a grumble. He's not going to sell to her, yada yada. She gets all pissy. She goes back to the bar, gets whiskey.
And see, this part didn't make sense because he was so angry and he
Yeah.
hated her so much. But they've already had two kind of meet cutie interactions.
Yeah,
Where there's some like back and forth and staring at each other longingly.
yeah.
So it was, again, jarring when he's like, ah, I hate you. I'm just like, whoa, what's his deal?
She gets a whiskey from the bartender, and Cary Elwes is already like there, sitting next to her, getting another whiskey, and he has terms. He's willing to do it,
He's already changed his mind. It's like, we need the money.
except that we kind of find out he's trying to set her up so that he can like essentially keep her deposit and get them through to the spring or something like that. So
So his terms are like, the deposit is non-refundable. They have a 90-day escrow, and she has to move in.
immediately,
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's like, I'm not living with you. But she moves in, and she does this. She signs, he already has a paper, like a typed up letter with all the stipulations,
Yeah.
and she signs it, and then she's moving in. He's giving her a tour of more stuff, and there's a whole bunch of shit that's not even finished. There's a concrete, like stone, ancient castle. The water's coming through the roof.
Yeah.
It's rags are hanging everywhere. And he gives her the shittiest room that's cold. The fireplace doesn't work. There's no Wi-Fi. All of it,
Yep.
right? And basically he wants her to leave, and then he gets to keep the money, as you mentioned.
We do get to find out that he's not just a duke. He is also an environmental engineer, and he went to Oxford and Cambridge, and they have wind power, and they're organic farming, and
Forestry.
doing biodiverse forestry.
Yeah. Yeah. He had time for all that. I'm like, oh, okay. But they never really bring a lot of that into it either. He's never really doing anything for the environment other than planting 2 trees when they cut down a Christmas tree later.
Yeah, and I got issue with that too.
Okay. What's your Christmas tree issue?
'Cause he's planting 2 little sproutling trees in the middle of winter.
Well, yeah.
Come on, wait till the spring. Give him a chance.
Yeah. This is like the biggest reaction you've had to anything in a long time. I could see it in your eyes.
Oh my god.
That was incredible. Okay, yeah, don't plant trees in the winter. Give the little guys a chance.
Yes.
All right.
Oh man.
You heard it here first. Okay, can we please talk about her clothing?
Okay, go for it.
Because at this point, she's hanging all her clothes up on the bed like it's her canopy, like it's a curtain around her bed.
Yeah.
She's got them all hanging up. And again, this room, there's water dripping from the ceiling. It's dirty. This is a dusty old room. And how she slept on that bed, I don't know. So I thought she had a rather small suitcase, but when she leaves, it's a little bit larger than I feel mine is. Yet I still think there was not room for everything she brought with her. Now, she changes her clothing quite frequently, and I like a lot of her outfits. It's a lot of like knee-high boots, jeans, a sensible top, muted colors, maybe a coat, some scarves that she probably picked up while she was there, this character. She has a knit hat. Anyway, here's all the things. I enjoyed a lot of her clothing. I really enjoyed the outfit at the end with the velvet plaid skirt and the red sweater. This is her like Christmas Eve eleganza.
For the longest Christmas Eve ever.
That outfit, oh my god, it would look so cute in it. I'm looking for a velvet skirt just like it, quite honestly. I enjoyed her wardrobe. It was sensible. Again, she wore flats the whole time, except she would need way more support.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In her suitcase, along with whatever she needs to take care of all that hair, because there was blow drying it, there was curling it, she's going to have product. She wore makeup every day. She was going to need product because she never went to the store.
Plus, routine and
yeah,
everything.
oh yeah, she needs her skincare, this lady.
Yeah.
So in her suitcase, at least 2 blazers, at least 2 pairs of tall boots, tall socks for autumn boots, at least 3 pairs of leggings, 2 pairs of jeans, the zip-up activewear jacket, the purple one.
Yeah.
Then she's got at least 2 puffy vests, at least 2 to 3 sweaters, 3 button-down tops. Later on, a Barbour coat. And Barbour is a Scottish brand. They do these very expensive, like weatherproof coats. They're usually kind of a dark green with a plaid lining. Sam Heughan from Outlander was one of the spokespeople. It's a very nice clothing, sort of outdoor menswear kind of situation. But they do have women's stuff too. Anyway, very nice coat is what I'm saying. Like, great for that location, which they did film it outside of Edinburgh. A few scarves, but I think she picked those up while she was there. Then she also had the sweater and the maxi skirt, the velvet maxi skirt, and a different pair of boots. Plus she had at least 3 pairs of flats and a brand new pair of silk pajamas. So I don't know where she got those because I don't think in the village they would have that. And I think there were at least 3 hats, right? So she got all of that in the suitcase. Now, fellas, if you're used to just throwing stuff in a backpack and going, none of this means shit to you because you don't know anything about packing. But ladies, if you're high maintenance like me, that is a lot of stuff that's not getting into that suitcase. There's no way all of that could fit, even with very small toiletries. I'm serious, even though she's not plus size, because as a plus size woman, my clothing is bigger, it takes up more space. If I packed all that stuff, I would need like at least two suitcases. And she only had that one. So that already took me out of it realistically. I was like, there's no way.
Well, this does take place over a matter of months, so, I mean, some of the stuff she could have got while she was there, like the velvet dress.
Well, here's the thing, though. They're 2 hours away from Edinburgh. And you know how when she comes back to her knitting group and she's like, oh my God, you guys, I got you presents. Because they're planning this big Christmas Eve shindig. And she brings them all. She's like, I went to Saks Fifth Avenue. Because she had found this ball gown or whatever that she was getting taken in or let out or whatever. She hands them all these expensive pieces of clothing. But she says she went to Saks Fifth Avenue. The closest Saks Fifth Avenue to Edinburgh is in Boston.
Well, yeah, I mean, she could have ordered it online or had
But Sean, those
an
were in like
assistant do it or
big
something.
gift boxes.
Yeah, true.
They're not just shipping those. I mean, I know she's supposed to have money, but it just seemed really odd because she acted like she went she went shopping and got them these things. And somehow she knew all their sizes and their styles and all of it. Like she knew how to do a lot of things that made it just ridiculous. She could cut hair. She knew how to get them outfits and style them.
Yeah, she did everybody's hair.
She could color hair. She could dance. She could do the jig. She knew all the lyrics to Danny Boy or whatever they were singing.
The black lady at one point gets complimented on her hair and she says that Brooke Shields did it. But I was like, so wait, does Brooke Shields also know how to braid black ladies' hairs?
I thought she just put it in the updo.
She just did the updo.
Yeah, I think she just gave her an updo, which
Okay.
any black lady who knows how to go to a person or do their own hair in braids that looked that good
Yeah.
knows how to put her hair in an updo.
Because I was going to be really impressed if she did all that braiding. Because that would
Yeah,
take a
no, if
long
she had
time.
done the braiding, that's like
a
my
day.
fingers want to cramp up just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I went with one of my, well, we dropped her off to get her hair braided. 7 hours later, we were glad we went and did other stuff. Yeah, it's heavy duty. She's like in with these knitting club friends.
They do some yarn bombing.
Yeah, where they just yarn stuff around a pole, like a light pole, which I feel like people in Portland do that sometime. That seems like a very Portland thing to do. On that note, it's time we take a break.
And we're back.
Yeah.
I think on the first night, Hamish starts his Parent Trap type thing.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, it started pretty immediately.
Yeah.
Hamish the dog totally parent traps them. That's right.
He comes and it's like scratching on a side door to her room or something like that. So she starts following Hamish and he leads her through all these hallways and stuff until, boom, she opens the door and there's Cary Elwes in the bath.
Yeah,
drinking some whiskey.
in the bathtub. And he's not shocked at all. He's like, oh, hey, pour me some more whiskey. Madam? And she's like, fuck you, pour it yourself. And they're just like, nah, a lot. Yeah, so Hamish has already set up a plan in motion, which is really why he steals the show.
Yeah.
Because he's so much smarter than everybody else to the extent that he can plan this and pull it off.
I felt like if Hamish would have intervened at minute 46 where they have the super awkward almost kiss thing, I felt like if Hamish could have intervened there, pushed Cary Elwes in the back or something so they did kiss, I think this movie would have been over at like 48 minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just call it then. Oh, Hamish, you could have saved us a lot of time.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like you can watch this movie to a little after 7 minutes, and then fast forward to 45 minutes.
Yeah, because there's that huge slow bit in the middle. Yeah.
She does stuff with the knitting crew. She.
Well, I was gonna say they came and Cinderella'd her room.
Oh, yeah,
They
true.
brought fabric and old lamps and curtains and a dresser and all this stuff, and just like dressed it up. And you know the scene in Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, where they are staying in the hotel and they're like, "Ooh, this is drab. We're gonna dress it up." And then it's a montage of them decorating, and suddenly there are like sheer curtains and feather boas everywhere, and color and sequins, and that was kind of what this reminded me of. Instead of it looking fabulous in this particular movie, it looked like you never did any kind of high school drama stuff, right?
Oh, no.
They made her room look like backstage at a high school theater performance. Just explosion of fabric and color everywhere.
Yeah.
Stuff piled around, very low lighting. Just hodgepodge, hodgepodge. Like thrift store vomiting everywhere. Does that make sense? That's what it looked like to me anyway.
Yeah.
So, as Brooke Shields is getting in with her knitting group, Cary Elwes' character is warming up to her. And they go for a drive through the countryside. They saw more Highland cows than we saw when we were in Scotland.
Yeah.
I think we saw, 6 of them? 7?
I think so, yeah.
I think that was about it.
I felt that was very staged for the movie, so.
Well, that's kind of my point, is that they saw far more than we did. And multiple people have told me when they went to Scotland, they didn't see but like a handful of Highland cows.
Yeah. Yep.
And they were surprised because it is such an icon of Scotland. He takes her to the special well that people leave offerings to for luck and courage and that kind of thing. And there's some tale of the Lady of Dunbar, who there was supposed to be a war, and she left a necklace there as an offering to the gods so she could kick ass. And she not only kicks ass, but then meets her true love on the battlefield, and they get married on Christmas Eve, and then forever invite people to Christmas Eve or something. And I was like, oh, that's probably what's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very like, just like, hello, we're telling you about the story. Just, I imagine waving like Forrest Gump, just like, hello, here's what you can expect for the next hour. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So now her and Hamish are like homeboys because she has gotten closer to Cary Elwes, and they have that moment where they get so close to each other and they're kind of like moving around like they don't know if they should look away or stare, and their mouths are 2 inches from each other and they're just acting like, do we or don't we? I don't know. Oh, it's just normal for me to talk this close to you. Is it? And then they don't kiss.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, come on, y'all. Y'all are grown. Can we just be open here?
Yeah.
Oh, that just drove me nuts. It's when the miscommunications of stuff, I know it's there for all of its storylines and conflict and all of that stuff, but I fucking hate it. I would rather them say exactly what they mean and have some kind of conflict than just not say the things they need to say for the conflict. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, oh, it irritates me.
One thing we did miss right before they go on the whole drive and find out about the warrior woman at the well who gets married on Christmas Eve. Brooke Shields FaceTimes her daughter and is like, oh, you gotta come out for Christmas. And daughter's like, Dad's getting married on Christmas.
Oh, and that's why he started warming up and being nice to her.
Yeah.
There's a couple that comes into the hotel, like the inn later on. And I thought, that's going to be her husband.
Yeah, I put, it's like at 61 minutes, I put possible villains show up.
Yeah.
But we never see these people ever again.
No. And they made it such a big deal, and he seemed really creepy.
Weird.
And it was almost like, make sure you look at him and see how sinister he is so you know who he is.
Yeah.
And he's basically just checking into this hotel.
Yeah.
And then we never see those people again. And I really thought that would be Brooke Shields' ex-husband.
Yeah, yeah. Because, yeah, after they go on the drive thing, then it fast forwards to a week before Christmas, and that's when those people check in.
Oh, I didn't see the words.
Yeah.
I missed that jump. I thought this was a very short amount of time.
No, I think it was, I don't know if it was like a whole nother month later or something.
Oh man. Okay.
After their whole awkward,
Yeah.
almost kiss thing.
Oh, so that still doesn't make sense because we didn't see them develop any kind of interaction. Truly.
No, not in between that part.
It
No.
was just like, bitch, 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 bitch. You have to move in. Okay. Huh? You're all right. But then that was it. We didn't see anything else until we get to this close to Christmas. They just didn't have that much chemistry for it to be believable that they would have fallen for each other so quickly. As mature people with their own baggage and defenses. I mean, she's getting over this divorce and obviously having an issue about, the guy getting married, even though she tried not to act like it. But it was still something she was hurt by and dealing with. And then he's some fucking curmudgeon that doesn't want to let love in. Why? We don't really know because he
Yeah.
hated his old family. I just don't. There was no backstory to why they were acting the way they were. And it felt like there wasn't enough story for them for their actions to make sense. It didn't make sense to me why these grown ass people would be like, oh, I love you forever, like they were fucking Romeo and Juliet at a certain point. They've only known each other for maybe 3 months. Total strangers who hated each other at the beginning.
Here's a quick timeline kind of up to this part.
Okay.
At 7 minutes, they have a meet cute. At 46 minutes, they have the super awkward almost kiss.
Oh shit, that was 46 minutes in?
Yep. And then at 67 minutes is when Hamish gets them to kiss.
Yeah.
And they bang.
And they bang immediately. They're like, we shouldn't do this. This is wrong. Especially Cary Elwes. He's like, oh no, I don't want to. This is so wrong. And then that's when she pulls him into the room, acting all like scared and stuff, saying, oh yes, it's so wrong. It's so wrong. And it was just very, like I said, very confusing part to me.
The door closes. Hamish lays in his bed outside the door.
He's got to listen to the whole thing.
The glorious song starts.
Yes, that plays as they're having sex. Where we're just assuming it's happening. The door has closed. We have no idea what's happening back there. I just say that I said this to you in private. I'll say it here on. I don't think his character would be that good at sex. It just doesn't seem like he would be that much of a giver. You know what I'm saying? He's very curmudgeon-y. I think he's just into like getting it in, doing his thing, and thinking that's all that needs to be done. That's the kind of guy he seemed like to me. I just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about it, the 12th Duke of Dunbar probably doesn't go down.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle right there. Just telling ya. Oh, she kind of starts to prove her worth to Cary Elwes, at least on the business end of things, because she's trying to write while she's at this castle, and her agent is hassling her the whole time.
I mean, she's like a world famous author. She's been doing this for 20 years, and now her agent is like, you need to get this next book out and bring Winston back. You have to do this or your career is shit.
Yeah. I thought it was very kind of stereotypical of what you see in the movies of these kinds of characters, the way they interact or the way that most people believe things work, or just how we've seen things portrayed in movies and stuff. And that's why I felt like it just seemed like it was written from a very young perspective of someone who just doesn't have a lot of life experience. And this is that like very soft glow romantical view of how people meet and get along with each other and fall in love and how things would work. It feels like a fan fiction to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In that sort of very basic storyline way. There's not a lot of depth, really.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. I didn't have a lot of feeling from anyone. Like, I needed more juice, more meat. I needed more things to be more believable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're just that connection to the characters and stuff wasn't fully there. I liked a lot of the characters. They seemed like a likable group. I would love to go to that town and hang out with those people
Yeah, for sure.
and see how quirky and great they are. Most of the people in it were like extremely likable. It's like, yeah, I would love to like be hanging out with these people. But just the way it was presented as a story, there was not a lot of feeling. I don't know. I need more meat to stuff that I'm gonna take in. I don't want like super fluffy shit. I guess that's where I'm at now. I don't like super fluffy shit. I think there was a point where I did.
Oh yeah.
But like now I need to see real stuff from people, not just the fluffy shit. And I'm sure there are times where I'm like, you know what? Just give me fluffy shit. That's
Yeah.
all I want right now. That's all I can handle is fluffy shit. But there are some times where I'm like, you know what? If it's fluffy, it ain't right, and I need the real deal. Like the realistic, this is how things would go kind of shit.
That's
You
why we
know?
watched Shetland after it.
Yes, that is more believable
Yeah.
and about murder. So, again, maybe this is like the norm for all these things because I don't watch a lot of these types of movies because I don't like them. But everybody just seems so surface level, and I just want more. I want to know why people are the way they are. I want to know what bad shit happened to them to make them the way they are.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
always something there.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. I don't want all the bullshit. And I guess I just wish there were meatier characters on this and not just like bumbling women who take their career seriously and don't want to have kids or don't believe in Santa Claus or whatever it is. You know, it's always
Or
there.
look exactly like a princess.
Yes. There's just all of those things. You guys could name like a million of them right off the top of your
Oh
head.
man. Yeah, there's one I saw on Prime Video. I think we watched a trailer for it where some woman goes to some other country and gets mistaken for her boss who's a designer, and then they fall in love with
Oh my
the
gosh.
prince falls in love with her.
Yeah, yeah. I have to be in a mood for those, and that's not something that happens very often. There's a part where Carrie always comes into the pub because he has to talk to her, but he's like back and forth a lot. He threw darts really hard and scared everyone.
Yeah,
What was that?
that was after she took over the tour and wowed all the people on the tour, and they bought stuff at the
Oh,
gift shop, and then he was like, "You're just getting into all my shit. You're affecting like all the parts of all my shit. You're just too deep into everything."
yeah. So he was getting scared, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he liked her and he didn't want to like her,
yeah. He was supposed to be trying to get rid of her
right?
so he can keep the deposit.
Well, he wasn't good at conveying that. I feel like that didn't really come around till later. She was good for business. People recognized her. She did a good job at the tour.
And the guy who gives the tours, like, I didn't get that guy.
Well,
Seemed
he
like
was a longtime friend
he
of
grew
Cary
up
Elwes.
he grew up with Cary Elwes. Like they created ornaments for the trees together.
Oh yeah,
He's been with Cary Elwes
he
since
was
they were children.
kind of like a butler, or
Yeah, I don't know.
he always wore a kilt,
Yeah.
even in the snow. Which I hand it to you. It's chilly. This is the part where she's like, I know I'm being played. You tried to play a player. I know that you've been playing me, so I'm playing you because I'm going to stay here and I'm not going to leave and you're not going to get your money.
Yeah.
And I'm going to buy the goddamn castle. So fuck you, is essentially what she says to him at this point. And then I guess he likes her even more because he brings her a Scottish dresser and finally is kind of like nice to her. Finally. He's sort of nice to her, and things speed up from here quite substantially.
She gets the Knitters Club and the kilt guy to help start setting up decorations for Christmas.
And there was this one time, I think it was maybe when he brought the dresser in, they flirt in this weird kind of back and forth, like, I hate you, no, I hate you more. Oh, I can't wait till you're gone. I can't wait to see you go. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of little back and forths. And then when they kind of look at each other funny, and then when they're done doing their back and forth, they give these faces to each other like they're really proud of themselves. When they're like, "Oh, we did it. We did it." It was that kind of excited face that didn't make sense. Again, for grown-ass people who are kind of hating each other off, you know?
Hate cute.
Yeah, it was such an odd choice. And it confused me so much into how I was supposed to feel about them together and individually.
I felt like Cary Elwes' character definitely had some anger control issues or just like some deep insecurities and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I
he would
say,
fly off the handle and then immediately be apologizing, essentially.
yeah, I said several times in my notes he needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to get in a relationship right now. He needs to go to therapy. But that doesn't seem to happen. I said he needs therapy, and she thinks they can live together after sleeping with him once. Why does he immediately push her away? It was always like they would get kind of close, and then he'd be like, "Ah, go away, I don't like you."
Yeah.
And then it would happen again and again, and I was just like, oh my God, this is red flags. In a relationship, if that keeps happening, that's a red flag that something is wrong. It ain't
Yeah.
right. And pay attention.
Yeah.
He has no business getting into a relationship right now until he works on himself. She
Yeah,
was a
true.
lot more stable mentally than he was.
I think at this point now it's like
Almost Christmas.
it's the night before Christmas Eve. She finds a dress in one of the rooms.
Oh yeah, a black ball gown with tartan on the bustier part and like
Yeah.
draping down.
Yeah. So she puts on the bottom half and then she's just got kind of like a cami on top, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, like a bralette cami thing.
Yeah. And this is where Hamish.
Because I thought her boobs looked really great.
Indeed. This is where Hamish like grabs one of her shoes and runs it all
Fucking
the way
Hamish.
all the way down to Cary
What a
Elwes'
scamp.
room, and this is where they finally kiss. But I guess right before that, she's like, "I'm sorry, I found this dress. I don't know if it was your mother's or your ex-wife's or something like that." And he's like, "You shouldn't be wearing that." And he's like, "No, it's my fault."
Yeah, I didn't understand where that was going.
Yeah, and then he like kisses her.
Yeah, because it wasn't an ancient dress. This is like a prom dress. There's no way that thing was made beyond this century.
Yeah, so they never explain where the dress came from or anything, but
No, it wasn't. I guess it wasn't a big deal. She didn't even have the top part on. They kiss. He's like, "No, this is wrong. We shouldn't do this." And she's like, "No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. We shouldn't." As she's pulling him into the room.
yep.
The door closes. Gloria plays. Hallelujah. They've done it.
They bang. It's the next morning,
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve morning. So this is like the longest day.
Yes.
The longest
you
day.
thought we've already had a long day? No, this is the longest day.
Yeah, so immediately Kilt Guy knows they boned. He sets them up a breakfast.
Yeah, before they're even awake, he knows.
Oh yeah, like he was listening to this whole thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hamish told him.
Yeah. He probably has like a little, one of those paintings where the eyes where he can just watch
He can
everything.
just film the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's how he stays in business with the Duke. He's blackmailing him with sex tapes. I bet you that's what's happening. Plot twist.
And they're spending shitloads of money on decorating.
All the twinkle lights? My
Yeah.
God.
I'm guessing she's spending all the money since he's
He
worrying
doesn't
about
have
going
any?
foreclosure.
Yeah,
and-
I was wondering about that. Is she in charge of actually buying all this stuff since she's buying the castle? Or
Yeah, so at the point where they're sitting down to have breakfast, Kilt Guy and the gay widower have like already set up like trays of food and stuff on the tables. Before they even like sip coffee or have any of the bread that's there, it starts snowing.
And she's just mesmerized. I'll tell you quite honestly, it's kind of how I felt when it snowed when I moved to Boston. I even told my friend Nefertiti I believed in the magic of snow. And I would go out and I would look up. I would act kind of like her. Again, I was like 20. And she is clearly in her 50s.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Anyway, Nefertiti was very mad. She still makes fun of me about it. She hates the snow. So don't mention the magic of snow to Nefertiti if we've learned anything. They go out spinning. She's teaching him how to stick his tongue out to catch snowflakes on his tongue. He's never done that before. This is like, it reminded me of Beauty and the Beast where she's being more affectionate with him. She's helping him feed the birds with his gigantic paw that's scaring everybody all the time. And she's like, I wonder why I didn't see it there before. You know, that whole thing. This is kind of what that reminded me of. Again, it's like way, way into the movie. I feel like this should have been happening a lot sooner.
Yeah. They have a snow and dancing montage between them in the snow, and then they're inside dancing, and then it's back in the snow, and they're inside dancing.
And I didn't know if she was teaching him or he was teaching her like a more Scottish traditional, because it looked like they were doing kind of a ballroom dance. And that
Yeah.
maybe she was teaching him how to dance, because I think at some point he even mentions he doesn't sing or he doesn't dance or something. And he's very, stiff and stodgy.
Yeah.
But later on, at the big shindig, she knows how to do the Scottish dance that they're doing at the Hailey. And I was like, oh, was he teaching her the whole time? I was very confused about what was actually happening there. But this is when she's wearing boots in the morning and going out into the snow. And then she puts on the flattest flats. The flattest flats. And then is dancing around the ballroom with him in these very flat Mary Janes. But again, that's when she was wearing that velvet skirt. And I really, really liked it.
Another time recap real quick. 7 minutes meet cute. 46 minutes super awkward kiss. 67 minutes they kiss for the first time and bang. 73 minutes they're broken up.
Yeah, like immediately. Immediately. She was all like, oh, we can live together. We're in love and this is our future. And he just like freaks the fuck out.
It's like, oh, you're going to let me live in my castle?
Yeah, which technically she's buying from him.
Yeah.
But he gets so mad. He's like, how dare you tell me I can live in my own house? This is my house, by the way. I hate you. Go away. And he storms out of the room. And again, this is another note where I said he needs therapy. But I also don't understand why she suddenly wants to like move in with him just because they slept together and she barely knows him.
Yeah, yeah.
I just didn't see the feeling there or the opportunity to get to know him that well. But he just immediately like pushes her away constantly and constantly. And so she's like, she's done. She packs up. She goes to leave. She's had to bike substantially from town to this castle. Multiple occasions we've seen.
And when she moved from the castle, from the inn to the castle, she had the cabbie bring her.
Okay. I just forgot about that.
Yeah.
But it goes in with what I'm saying. She walked from the castle to the village in the snow, pulling her suitcase behind her.
Yeah. We're still on Christmas Eve
This is
day
still,
here.
yeah, this is the morning after they fucked.
Yep. They fucked. They danced in the snow. They danced in the ballroom. They broke up. And then she
leaves.
She leaves. She takes her suitcase and walks all the way back to the inn.
And then the kilted guy, the butler, he was like, are you sure you want to push her away? This was very like Lumiere to the Beast.
Yeah.
Cogsworth to the Beast. Like, are you sure you want to be an asshole? Like, why don't you go be nice to her? He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So she goes to the village. She tells everyone goodbye. I'm going to miss you the most, Scarecrow. That whole thing.
Yep.
Edinburgh's 2 hours away. She has to leave now. She called the taxi driver, the same one who picked her up from the airport at the beginning of the film.
Yep.
He's the only taxi driver anywhere near there, apparently. And his taxi breaks down. And he's like, fuck it. We're staying here.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. I feel like that was probably, we're maybe supposed to think it was a setup. I don't know. It seems like they're all kind of wink, wink. Like the knitting club and him and stuff are kind of
really?
like
You think they
wink,
set that
wink
up?
in on it. Yeah.
Well, I was like, why doesn't she just wait an extra day?
Yeah.
She apparently loves these people. Why is she going to say goodbye so fast?
Yeah.
Why is she so mad about staying one night? Because she could hang out with them at the pub the whole time. Like, you know what? I would love an extra night in Scotland. Also, Cary Elwes' character has been reading all of her books this whole time.
Yeah.
She's caught him at lunch. He's not even trying to hide it. He's like, this character. And also, she's been regurgitating the same lines she uses in her book in meaningful conversations with him, especially, and he recognizes that. And so he's on the last book, and it's like suddenly he realizes she's the one from reading this last book where she supposedly killed off the character. And he's already been like very scared of her because she killed a character in her book.
Well, and he watched the clip of her on the Drew Barrymore show going like, I could kill him this way or that way or this way.
She was obviously being sarcastic. They made it into this big deal, but she was obviously just being a bitch to people who were being a bitch to her.
Yeah.
And for him to just assume she was nuts because of that, again, very immature. Just, come on. He's not 22. That's why their actions are so ridiculous, because they're not 22.
Yeah.
They're 50 fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And that just really bothered me. It just made me think, like, these people have no business not working on themselves right now.
Yeah.
And it angered me, quite honestly.
He's in bed reading her last book.
Oh, like, God, I forgot it was the same day.
Yeah, and then, like, the Robbie Robertson song comes on, and this Robertson.
And was there a group that Robbie Robertson was in? Did you remember the name of that?
No, I don't remember what group he is.
Sean.
Robbie Robinson?
It's Robbie Williams.
Oh, Robbie Williams, there we go.
He's in Take That.
Oh, he was in Take That.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
She's the One song.
Yeah, she's the one. And he's seeing all of their little facial expressions to each other and all their little, like, their heads are almost touching kind of thing. It's this whole thing. And I was just like, what? He's reading her book where she murdered the main character, which he's already had a suspicion about. And this is how he finds out she's the one for him? That he's in love with her?
Yeah.
I will say, though, I guess he gets dressed up for this party that's supposed to be happening at the castle that night. This is Christmas Eve.
Yeah. All the knitting club and everybody's going to...
They're all dressed up. This is their Saks Fifth Avenue outfits. All dressed up. Looking great. Everybody looks great.
Yep.
He's supposed to be there at his castle, but he gets a horse for her and he rides a horse. He's dressed up in his dress kilt. We're talking like the tux jacket and everything. It looks very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. His hair, fantabulous. Man, he gets on the horse, and I love the way the kilt like lays out behind. I love it. And he goes and throws snowballs at her window. She's in her pajamas. She's been crying all day. She's not going anywhere.
She just called her daughter and left her a voicemail message, which I didn't feel like Brooke Shields was very good at acting at doing a voicemail message.
No. And she was, kind of jealous of the daughter being at the dad's wedding. Yeah, so homeboy throws a snowball. And when she goes over to that window and opens it up, she's gonna get hit in the fucking face with a snowball. And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, it was funny.
He's like, you're the one for me. I was an asshole. That kind of thing. And I wrote, this on-again, off-again drama is for middle schoolers. He needs therapy. At least he is mildly self-aware and capable of understanding his feelings to a certain degree. And he's like, no, take me back, man. Take me back. I'll do better. That kind of thing. And then suddenly they're like, in it to win it.
Yeah.
And they ride horses back to the fucking castle. There's a ceilidh going on. If you don't know what a ceilidh is, that is a Gaelic party. It's traditional, a lot of like traditional song and dance and that kind of thing. It's just a big like party gathering, fun time in Gaelic. So it's their big Christmas. ceilidh, everybody's dancing. They're having a good time. And then they appear in their matching outfits. The dress is fitting her to a T. She looks great. I would totally wear that dress. And they dance. And she's doing all the traditional dances, which I don't know if she's had time to learn. They dance. And everybody's like, hey, you're here. They've already seen her sob today about not being with him and leaving. And they've encouraged her to stay. But at the same time, there's no surprise that they got back together. Nobody's like, are you sure you want to do this? You guys are not good for each other. I think you and I need the outfits at the end.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then, like, the most farcical part ends up being her daughter Lexi shows up right after they show up to the party.
Oh, yeah. He's flown her out, her daughter.
I mean, even if she's East Coast, maybe if she's in New York City, she can get a direct flight to Edinburgh. I don't know. I kind of doubt it.
I think if Boston, New York, I think you can get a direct flight to Edinburgh.
Still, it's going to be a pretty good flight, long flight.
Yeah, she was already dressed up.
Yep.
She had just gotten in.
That's a 2-hour drive from Edinburgh, and it's been snowing out.
Yeah, her flights would have been delayed. There's no way she would have come looking like that. Sparkly dress, heels,
Yes.
hair up, curled, shellacked.
I got one last time. We're going to go over their couple timeline here.
Okay.
7 minutes, meet cute. 46 minutes, super awkward, almost kiss. 67 minutes, they kiss for the first time, and bang. 73 minutes, they're broken up. 84 minutes, they've made up, they're fully in love.
Wow. See, I told you it speeds up really fast. I was also wondering, all the people that were there was a whole band. There was, presumably a lot of food and beverage for everybody. And I know they were hauling stuff in before. In one of the scenes, they were bringing drink and food in. But who's coming up with all the money for this? Is it her? Because that's a lot of money. Or is all of the town volunteering to do these things? And all those decorations and stuff? Tens of thousands of dollars.
The decoration budget was
massive.
Yeah.
Now, this is probably one of the best parts in the movie. Hamish the dog dances at the Kaylee. You see him
adorable.
bouncing around, paws in the air, tight to the chest, just jumping around. He's having the best time. And I think it was one of the best parts of the movie, quite honestly. Look, I want the ball gown outfit. She had that big honkin' locket on, which I thought at the end they would take to the well. I thought they would leave it as an offering. In the end, he gives her a necklace.
Yeah.
Which the only other time they talked about necklaces and made a big deal of it was at the well. And so I thought that would come back into play, but he just gives her a necklace. He says, I have a wee gift. And he gives it to her. And then we don't even get to see it. We don't even get to see what's so special about it.
Yeah.
It's just a necklace.
Yeah, just some necklace, whatever.
So I thought they would take her necklace or something. But it kind of makes me want to put holly in my hair. She looked really cute. And I feel like I want this sort of ball gown, holly in my hair, Christmas, frostbitten nose elf look for Christmas this year. I just kind of want to be an innocent but sexy elf girl this holiday. That's the aesthetic I want to go for. I don't know if I have the patience to pull it off, but I'd rather just be jeans and a hoodie. But what I really want to look like, sexed up, is frosty elf. So anyway, this is it.
Yep.
They're together, they dance, and then they're celebrating Christmas together the next morning, and it's like they're a fucking happy family. And they both live in the castle together, and he's got her a present, and they're celebrating Christmas together like ain't nothing happened. They've only known each other for maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
And then at the end, oh my God, you guys, it was so weird.
Yeah. Then it really goes off the rails.
This part should have never happened.
No.
There's a scene I'm guessing they filmed, obviously, where Brooke Shields' character goes back on Drew Barrymore to talk about this new book she has written. She's been inspired by the story of the well and the warrior and stuff. And she's written this whole new book with a whole new set of characters. And she's there to promote it. But
her maiden name.
McGinty, it's a big deal that she took back her name.
Yeah.
So now, she's rebranded. But instead of showing us what the scene that they filmed, they show us parts of that. They also show us basically Brooke Shields and Drew Barrymore just shooting the shit like normal people.
Yeah.
They show us bloopers and outtakes. They show real lines that I guess they were supposed to do in a more serious scene. It's just this mishmash, quickly edited thing that I guess is supposed to be a blooper reel, but it's got all of these different things going on in it.
Yeah, I couldn't understand if that was supposed to be the commercial breaks during the actual taping of the show, or if that's supposed to be meta, where it is fake bloopers on the show. I don't know. It made no sense what that whole part was about.
See, I hadn't thought about like the in between commercial breaks because it just felt so off character
Yeah, it was really
for like
weird.
Brooke Shields or anything that was happening. And they would kind of ask what. Oh, there was some part where Drew Barrymore was like, "Well, how was the wedding or something?" Then Brooke Shields is like, "Oh, did we get married? Weren't we just engaged or what happened?" Like
Yeah.
she was yelling at the script supervisor or something.
Yeah.
And I was so confused. I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh or was real, like part of the story.
Did
Or...
he even propose?
Yeah. It was really odd. It was odd that it was there, and the way that it was presented was very odd. So it was very jarring to kind of end this sappy movie on this Christmas tip, and then have this jarring talk show blooper reel thing at the end.
Yeah. And then they cut to black, and once again they do Gloria.
Oh yeah, that's their sex song.
Yeah, the song that they bang to.
Oh, that one.
Yep.
So that's A Castle for Christmas. This has been a lot longer than I anticipated. And quite honestly, you guys, I've been rambling like a motherfucker. I have been so high, and I can't keep track of what I was saying. So if you've picked up on that, fucking good for you, man. That's so observant, because that's how I feel.
It's in the intro music. She's gonna be high.
I'm gonna be high, you guys. This is not. I'm not letting you down. This is the premise of this situation. Things might go off the rails because what? I'm fucking high, you guys. This is how the cookie crumbles. But I've had a lot of fun. I'm glad that I watched it. Again, if you like this kind of thing, I think you'll like this. I think it'll just be like, you know what? That was fun-ish.
Yeah.
It's real slow in the middle. I feel like if you're going to do some online shopping, if you're decorating and you need some background filler stuff and you just want to have that sort of slightly festive or, sort of sappy romantical thing happening. Basically, if you need that background stuff but you don't want to pay attention, I think this would be great for that.
Yeah, also pro tip, Netflix now does allow you to change the speed of stuff.
Why didn't you tell me that? I would have said, let's do it at 1.5.
Yeah, because they allow you to do. I even checked on this movie.
Are you serious?
I checked once we started recording the podcast. I wanted to see if it was available, and they do let you do 1.5 speed on this movie.
Oh, if you can do 1.5 speed, do that.
Yeah,
that's going to be so helpful for you.
Yeah, would that get about to an hour?
I think so.
Yeah, see, that'd be just about right. I feel like that's what this movie should be. It's about an hour.
Because I feel like there was an hour in the middle that was way too slow.
Yeah, like I said, 7 minutes
to 46
to 46 minutes.
Yeah, and it went by very slow. And I didn't eat dinner before we watched, and so I was so hungry. I was just waiting for it to be over so I could eat dinner.
I would say this movie was better than some of them MJH movies.
MJH?
Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Nutcracker Christmas one or whatever.
Nutcracker Christmas. Oh my god, if y'all want to laugh.
Jesus.
If you like to get high, I think Nutcracker Christmas would be really funny.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you probably don't want to waste your time. Oh my god, that one. She does have the bakery and he cracks
nuts.
Oh, he's the fucking Nutcracker. Why did I remember that?
Yeah, he can one hand crack a nut and sort the nut out of the shell pieces.
He is the fastest Nutcracker nut sorter in the West.
Because she makes gluten-free stuff, so she needs a lot of almond
almond
nuts
flour
to make nut flour, and
which I really appreciate that because it's hard to find good gluten-free baked goods.
True. With the Nutcracker Christmas, you can literally watch. I think it's the first 5 minutes, and then go all the way to the last minute.
Yeah,
and that's essentially all you need to watch, because everything else in between is completely non-consequential. Yeah, and then there's the Mario Lopez one where she
kidnaps him and has him pretend to be her boyfriend or something. I guess that wraps it up. We've probably talked your ear off about this movie, but now you don't have to watch it. So I hope that you have a great start to your December. We'll be checking in with you in a couple of weeks for, I don't know, we haven't decided yet. We'll let you know on social media what we're watching holiday movie wise.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do another one. So we'll let you know. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We would love to get your feedback if you watch this movie. What you think? Did we not discuss something you thought was like pretty obvious? Do you disagree? I would love to hear what you have to say. If you really love this type of movie, why do you love it? Like, why does it appeal to you? What is it about it? Do you have favorites? Do you have ones that you just think are like the best of all of this? I want to know.
If it's Christmas for the cranks.
No, don't come to me with Christmas with the
don't
cranks.
bring Christmas with the
I
cranks.
will tell you. I'll block you. I'll just block you. You come to me with Christmas with the cranks, we don't see eye to eye. Look, I would love to stay and talk to you all night, but I need my beauty sleep, okay? So, we'll talk to you later. We hate to say goodbye, but we love to watch you go. Ho, 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 bitches. Bye, y'all.
Bye.